Ever wondered how to maintain a thriving garden throughout the year? Welcome to our ultimate guide to year-round small gardening, where we'll unveil the secrets of cultivating a flourishing garden, regardless of the size of your green space. We'll journey through the seasons, sharing tips and tricks on how to maximize your garden's potential, from the frosty days of winter to the warm, sunny days of summer. We'll discuss the importance of seasonal planning and maintenance, ensuring your garden remains a vibrant and productive sanctuary all year round. Our guide will cover everything from planning and preparation to planting, nurturing, and harvesting. We'll also delve into the essentials of garden care, teaching you how to prevent common gardening pitfalls and how to ensure your garden thrives in every season. So are you ready to transform your garden into a year-round oasis? As the new year begins, it's time for reflection and planning. Just as we set personal resolutions, we also set intentions for our gardens. This is the perfect time to assess our garden spaces and consider what we want to grow. Is there a particular vegetable you've been longing to taste fresh from your garden? Perhaps a flower that you've always wanted to see bloom outside your window? Now's the time to decide. Once you've made your choice, dig a little deeper. Research the best varieties suited for your climate conditions. Are they cold hardy or do they prefer the heat? Understanding these factors will help you plan your planting schedule. Now, let's get dirty and prepare those garden beds. Enrich your soil with compost to provide necessary nutrients for your plants. And don't forget about those seeds. Start some indoors, like tomatoes and peppers. They'll appreciate the cozy start and be ready for transplanting when the warmer weather arrives. With these tasks, January sets the stage for an exciting gardening year ahead. Though February might still be chilly, it's an exciting time for early crops. The frosty mornings and shorter days don't have to be a deterrent for gardeners. In fact, it's the perfect time to kickstart your garden's production. You can begin by planting hardy vegetables such as kale, spinach, and peas. These resilient greens can be grown under the protective cover of a greenhouse or under cloches to shield them from the harsh winter elements. But that's not all. February is also a prime time for pruning your fruit trees and bushes. By doing this, you're not only tidying up the garden, but also promoting healthier growth. Removing dead or overgrown branches allows the plants to focus their energy on producing more fruitful yields. So don't let the cold weather stop you. Bundle up, grab your gardening tools, and start planting. With these tasks, you're setting the groundwork for a bountiful harvest later in the year. As the garden begins to awaken, it's time to get busy. The faint hum of spring energizes us to sow early crops like radishes, spinach, and peas. These hardy little fighters are perfect for these still chilly days, promising a bountiful harvest in the coming months. Meanwhile, those seedlings you've been nurturing indoors are ready for a taste of the great outdoors. On warmer days, gradually expose them to the outside world. This process, known as hardening off, prepares them for the trials and tribulations of outdoor life. And let's not forget about our subterranean friends, the potatoes and onions. These guys are ready to be planted in well-prepared beds where they'll quietly grow beneath the soil's surface. But remember, spring can be unpredictable. While the days might be warming up, nighttime still holds the threat of frost. So keep a close eye on the weather and protect your plants when necessary. With these tasks, your garden will be well prepared for the growing season. April is a busy month in the garden. With the soil warming up, it's time to get your hands dirty. Let's start with root vegetables. Carrots and beetroots are perfect for direct sowing now. They're hardy and can handle the fluctuating spring temperatures. Now, remember those leafy greens we talked about earlier? Continue planting successions of lettuce and other greens to ensure a steady supply throughout the season. Don't forget about your indoor starters. If you have a cold frame or greenhouse, you can start introducing cucumbers and melons to their future homes. And those tomatoes and peppers you started indoors, they're ready to make the big move outside. But remember, they're a little sensitive, so choose a spot with plenty of sun and give them some mulch to keep their roots cozy. With these tasks, you're ensuring a continuous harvest throughout the season. With the risk of frost diminishing, it's time to expand your garden's palette. Embrace the warmth of May by planting out tender crops. This is the perfect moment to introduce beans, squash, and corn to your garden. These heat-loving plants will thrive in the upcoming summer sun, promising bountiful harvests. But don't forget about the importance of succession planting. By continuing to sow seeds at regular intervals, you're ensuring a steady stream of fresh produce throughout the season. Now, let's add a splash of color and life to our gardens. Planting flowers isn't just about aesthetics. It's a strategic move to attract pollinators and beneficial insects. Consider marigolds, sunflowers, or lavender. Their vibrant petals will draw in bees and butterflies, helping to pollinate your crops. Plus, their presence can deter pests. With these tasks, your garden will be a vibrant and productive space. Embrace May's energy and let your garden reflect the beauty and abundance of the season. June is all about care and maintenance. This is the time when your garden needs your attention the most. Mulching is a crucial task to undertake, as it helps to retain moisture in the soil and suppress weed growth. Choose organic mulches like straw or compost, which will enrich your soil as they break down. Watering is another essential chore in June. Your plants, especially the newly planted ones, need regular watering, particularly during dry spells. But remember, it's not just about quantity, but also timing. Watering in the early morning or late evening reduces evaporation and ensures that your plants get the most benefit. Don't forget to keep a vigilant eye for pests and diseases. The earlier you spot them, the easier they are to control. And finally, it's time to reap the rewards of your early plantings. Harvest crops like lettuce and radishes to make room for the next wave of planting. With these tasks, your garden will stay healthy and productive. Harvest time is in full swing in July. The summer sun is ripening your garden's bounty, with tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers offering vibrant splashes of color and a cornucopia of flavors. These are your well-deserved rewards for the months of preparation and care put into your garden. But as you gather these delights, the garden is far from done. There's still plenty to sow, grow, and plan. In the gaps left by harvested crops, sow fast-growing varieties like radishes and lettuces. These quick turnarounds will give you a delicious late summer harvest, adding a fresh crunch to your meals. But don't forget about the seasons ahead. July is an excellent time to start planning for your autumn and winter garden. Consider what crops you might like to enjoy in the cooler months and begin preparing the soil and sowing seeds accordingly. With these tasks, you're ensuring a continuous bounty from your garden. As summer peaks, it's time to prepare for the fall. This is the moment when our gardens are bursting with life and the fruits of our labor are ripe for the picking. But as we revel in our summer success, it's crucial to cast an eye towards the coming colder months. August brings the perfect opportunity to sow winter-hardy crops. Think kale, turnips, and Brussels sprouts. These robust plants will withstand the chill of autumn and even winter, providing fresh produce when most other plants have cooled it a year. Simultaneously continue harvesting. Whether you're plucking juicy tomatoes or digging up potatoes, there's plenty to keep you busy. And don't forget about preserving the excess. Canning, freezing, or drying your surplus not only reduces waste, but also ensures that you can enjoy the taste of your garden long after the growing season has ended. With these tasks, you're preparing your garden for the colder months. September brings a change in the garden. As the air grows crisp and leaves start to fall, it's a time of transition. The vibrant summer crops are finishing their journey, making way for the robust flavors of autumn. The pumpkins and squash you've been nurturing throughout the summer are now ready to be harvested. Their bright hues and hearty textures are a testament to the work you've put into your garden. But the work doesn't stop there. As you harvest, remember to clear your beds, removing any spent plants. This not only tidies up your garden, but also prepares the soil for the next wave of planting. And speaking of planting, now is the perfect time to get your garlic and shallots in the ground. These alliums are hardy fellows, braving the winter to sprout in early spring, giving you an early harvest next year. With these tasks, you're transitioning your garden from summer to autumn. October is all about preparing your garden for winter. This month, we're focusing on planting crops that will brave the cold and provide fresh produce in the early spring. Broad beans and peas are great choices for overwintering, as they can withstand lower temperatures and will give you a head start next season. At the same time, autumn's fallen leaves can be your garden's best friend. Gather them up and add them to your compost pile. Over time, they'll break down into a rich organic matter that will nourish your garden and improve soil structure. This is nature's way of recycling, and it's a brilliant method to enrich your garden naturally. But let's not forget about winterizing the garden. Protect your perennials and any remaining crops from frost by using protective cloches or garden fleece. Also, give your tools a good clean and store them properly to prevent rust and damage. With these tasks, your garden will be ready to weather the winter months. And there you have it, a full year of gardening tasks. From the reflective planning in January, with its focus on enriching the soil and starting seeds indoors, to the early planting and maintenance of February, where we introduced hardy vegetables under cover and pruned fruit trees and bushes. As we moved into March, we saw the garden awaken and continued sowing early crops, hardening off indoor sown seedlings. April was all systems go, with root vegetables and leafy greens taking center stage, and the transplanting of our indoor started tomatoes and peppers. May saw us expanding the palette, planting tender crops and adding flowers to attract pollinators. June was about care and maintenance, mulching beds, watering plants, and keeping an eye out for pests and diseases. July brought us into the bounty of midsummer with harvests of tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers, and continued sowing for late summer harvests. As we rolled into August, we started preparing for fall, sowing winter hardy crops and preserving excess produce. September marked a transition in the garden, with summer crops finishing and fall crops taking center stage. We harvested pumpkins and squash, cleared beds for overwintering crops, and planted garlic and shallots for next year. And finally, October saw us preparing for winter, planting out overwintering crops and beginning to winterize our garden. Each task, each step of the way, contributes to maintaining a year-round garden. It's not just about the summer harvest or the spring planting. It's about the continuous cycle, the ebb and flow of the seasons, and the consistent effort to nurture and care for your green space. It's about understanding the rhythm of nature and working in harmony with it. With this guide, your garden will thrive all year round. Happy gardening!